So, good morning, and thank you for watching. It is currently 5 o'clock a.m. here in Spring Hill, Florida. My last day in Florida, mind you. And I am about to go to Duluth, Minnesota. Never been to Duluth, Minnesota, but I'm gonna be stuck there for a year, so we'll see what it's like, I guess. So, let's go on a road trip. Goodbye, Florida. About to be in Georgia. I have been on the road for like 4 hours now, and I'm only outside of Duluth. Stopping at this questionable roadside stop. What is this shit? Why is this like exactly what I expected it to be almost? Of course, there's big bags of peanuts. Can't go through the Carolinas without finding buku peanuts. Should I stay or should I go? It's always taste. Well, this is how you know we're coming up on Atlanta. So I guess I lied about the Atlanta traffic. We're not quite in Atlanta yet. There she is on the horizon. ATL. Oh my gosh, every time I go to this city, it kind of just blows my mind with the sprawl. Even though I've been to New York, Atlanta just like seems like so sprawling. There's that trademark Atlanta traffic. You know, I thought I was gonna make it through Atlanta without missing the most famous part about it. So, at what point does the number of lanes become a problem? Because holy shit, Atlanta! We are now getting into the foothills of the Appalachians. There's a reason why I didn't stop in Atlanta, and we're about to get there. This is New Echota, what was once the capital of the Cherokee Nation. New Echota was built in 1707 and was called Oostanali by the Cherokee. Well, at least Oostanali was a village that was nearby that served as the capital before New Echota was designated the capital in 1825. By 1819, the Cherokee government was meeting in New Echota, and by 1825, New Echota was designated as the capital of the Cherokee Nation. However, in 1828, gold was discovered in Georgia, and this prompted a wave of American settlers founding towns like Atlanta and Dahlonega, which led to a mass depopulation and genocide in the Trail of Tears. This site is the site of the house where the Treaty of New Echota was signed, which relinquished all Cherokee land and was only signed by 20 leaders. The treaty would be used as justification for the Trail of Tears and the Indian removal, which would occur in 1838. This is the beginning of the Trail of Tears. We're really getting into the mountains now. Holy shit. They're looming large over this highway. Well, there's Chattanooga. I'm not stopping there either. On into the mountains. So, I'm going down to the Tennessee River. It's kind of interesting not having to worry about alligators being anywhere near a water source, so that's a first. Hey, maybe there are some perks to not living in Florida. We're in the Cumberland Plateau. Or at least that's what the signs say where we are. So, we're out of the mountains into the rolling hills of Tennessee now. Almost in Nashville, which will be my first night stop. Well, I made it to my first hotel of the night in Nashville, Tennessee. And let me say, that was one hell of a drive. 10 hours. And this is what I get to stay in for the night. Let's look out the window. It's on the first floor, so there ain't gonna be much of a view. We're gonna go out on the town in a little bit. There you go. Nothing, not much. There's my car. Not much of a view. Okay. The site of present-day Nashville was built originally in 1714 by French fur traders, and it was a fur trading post on the Cumberland River, known as French Lick. In 1779, two men, James Robertson and John Donaldson, came with a large party of settlers along with many slaves and established Fort Nashboro, named after Revolutionary War hero Francis Nash. The settlers of Nashville would celebrate often with fiddle tunes and dancing, which led the city to be famous as a city for music. The first well-known musician from Nashville was actually Davy Crockett, who went around the country playing his fiddle for all to see. That's not the only thing he was famous for, but that is one of the things he was famous for, apparently. There is also a few other songs that came out from around the 1820s that led to Nashville being called the Music City. Passing Bowling Green right now, and no, I'm not gonna stop there. Bye, Bowling Green. Near Mammoth Cave National Park right now. If you saw the Internet Historian video Manning Cave, then you know what happened there. Let's hope that video comes back, by the way, because it keeps getting copyright strike for no freaking reason, apparently. I decided to stop at a rest stop in Kentucky, and this looks a lot different from the rest stops in Florida, that's for sure. Well, we're getting into the bluegrass region near Louisville, and it decided to rain, so let's hope it stops before we reach Louisville. Here we are in Louisville's Riverfront Park. You see, Louisville was initially built up in 1778 by famous Revolutionary War hero and frontiersman George Rogers Clark. Louisville was named after King Louis XVI, whose soldiers helped America under the Marquis de Lafayette during the Revolution. However, I mean, we all know what happened to Louis XVI. He got beheaded by his own people. So I'm not downtown, I'm actually at the Riverfront Park, where you can see the bridges. Wait, I'll turn the camera around. There we are, some magnificent bridges. You see, this right here is the Ohio River, which was once the western boundary of the United States itself. On the other side was what was called the Northwest Territory, which was actually under Native American control. You see, the Native Americans had formed a government of their own to rival the United States called the Northwest Confederacy. And this, the Ohio River, was the boundary between these two nations. You can learn more about it in my video on the Epic of the Midwest. Here we are in downtown Louisville. It's definitely a pretty big city. I mean, not the biggest I've ever been in, but definitely a lot bigger than where I'm going, so how's that? Time to cross the Ohio River. Bye, Louisville. Ooh, here we go. In 1816, when the state of Indiana was established, the U.S. government gave the state a tract of land in order to build a capital. However, the land was already inhabited by the Delaware Native American tribe, who was forced to move there from their ancestral homeland. In 1818, the Delaware were forced by the U.S. government to sign a treaty relinquishing their land. And in the 1820s, the city of Indianapolis was built at its site. Onward toward Chicago. Is it just me, or does Indiana have some like really terrible highways? Like, there's just patches all over the place. I mean, I get they're doing road work, but geez, why did you let it get this bad to begin with? Holy shit. Well, we're definitely in the Midwest now. It's just flat. Reminds me of Florida. With less swamps, of course. This right here is the site of the Battle of Tippecanoe, where Tecumseh's brother and the prophet Tenskwatawa fought against William Henry Harrison. You see, Tecumseh's brother's original name was Lalawathika, but he took on the status of prophet and changed his name to Tenskwatawa. Prophetstown is nearby and was built by Tecumseh and his brother in order to be the capital of this new confederation against the United States. You see, Harrison led a large American force to Prophetstown in order to burn it to the ground, and was met by the Native Americans who ambushed him in the early morning hours of November 7th, 1811. The battle went on for hours until eventually the Native American force was routed. Tenskwatawa was disgraced in the battle, and Tecumseh, upon his return, had to avoid not killing his own brother for his mistakes. This is the view from the top of the Prophet's Rock, where the prophet Tenskwatawa stood and chanted during the battle. This may very well have been where he was standing. This is what the rock looks like from the bottom of the hill. Just imagine the heat of a battle raging in the valley below, while Tenskwatawa stands up there chanting his war chants. That would have been magnificent to see. Okay, I am back on the road and Chicago bound. Here we go again. We are starting to get into the Chicago metro area. Traffic is freaking insane, and so is the road work, so that's fun. So, we are about to pass by Gary, Indiana. There's a reason why I have no intention to stop in Gary and show you the ruins. It is because I have a cousin who died in Gary. Basically, my cousin died there. Why would I want to go there? I'm sure that is a very understandable reason. Welcome to Illinois. Almost in Chicago.
My G's, so don't worry what my patience is. Get with the script, this that ignorant shit. And we about to get sick of it quick, and I ain't sending my lectures to shift. I know you feel it, man.
The city of Chicago was initially settled in 1833 and was incorporated 4 years later in 1837. The city was built at the site of the Native American portage, or place where the canoe would be taken out of the river at a rapid site and then brought to another portion of the river that was navigable. It was called Chicago Portage by the Kaskaskia, who initially brought French fur traders to this region. Well, we're out of Chicago now, on to Wisconsin. Well, we just got into Wisconsin. Well, here we are. We're in a second room outside of Racine, Wisconsin, about 20 miles south of Milwaukee. Looking forward to seeing Milwaukee tomorrow, that's for sure. Gosh, this has been a tiring 2 days. But on the road again tomorrow. It is currently like 7 a.m. here in Racine, Wisconsin. And I'm about to get on the road toward Milwaukee. Here we go.
Signs for I-794 East Lakefront.
The land where Milwaukee sits today was initially ceded by Native Americans in the 1833 Treaty of Chicago, following the Black Hawk War. French fur traders from Michilimackinac had established a trading post at this site in 1785. Therefore, there was already European settlement at this site before the Americans even bought the land. Is it just me, or is Wisconsin like really serene? The name of Milwaukee means beautiful or pleasant land loosely in Algonquin. However, what happened here in 1845 was anything but pleasant. Milwaukee wasn't the only town trying to stake a claim over this region. You see, there were 2 other towns, Juneau and Kilbourne Town, that were trying to become the principal town of this area. The 3 towns eventually clashed in what is known as the Milwaukee Bridge War in 1845. However, Milwaukee eventually incorporated both other towns. This is a statue of Leif Erikson, who actually never was in this region. He landed at the site of L'Anse aux Meadows National Historic Site in Newfoundland, Canada. Leaving Milwaukee now. On my way to Madison. This is the Mississippian site of Aztlan, which was built somewhere around 900 AD by settlers coming from Cahokia, south near modern St. Louis, Missouri. However, Cahokia was on the other side of the river in Illinois. The mound builders here built a well-designed community with large plazas, temple mounds, and areas for agriculture. However, it was abandoned somewhere around 1250 AD. We are approaching one of the main mounds at the site. It's amazing, just the sheer magnitude of this place. Wow. Just imagine what it would have looked like 1,000 years ago when it was inhabited. Aztlan was discovered and surveyed by Europeans between 1835 and 36. The name was coined by N.F. Heyer, who in the Milwaukee Herald stated that the site was resemblant to what the Aztecs describe as their homeland of Aztlan. However, this site had nothing to do with the Aztecs. I am now climbing what was once the main temple mound of Aztlan. This would have been the principal site of the village, with a vast plaza located below. This is the view from the top. Imagine what a Mississippian priest would have seen during the time this settlement was inhabited. The city of Madison was initially founded in 1829 when a man named James Doty purchased a large tract of land and then immediately began petitioning the government of the new territory of Wisconsin to make it into the territorial capital. Foley named his city Madison in honor of James Madison, former president of the United States, and offered buffalo hide coats to the legislatures in order to keep them warm in the freezing winters. In 1836, Madison was chosen to be the capital of Wisconsin. Passed by Wisconsin Dells and not stopping there. Onward! So, this rest area apparently has a scenic overlook, and it's a 2-minute walk, or at least that's what Google Maps says, from the actual rest stop itself. So let's check it out. It's definitely more than 2 minutes, but I came this far, so I'm not stopping now. It's really pretty here now. It's like a really cool boardwalk trail. Oh, this is the scenic view. Yeah, I'd say it was worth it. That's pretty. On down the mountain we go, and back on the road to Duluth.
And I'm still at peace with these flows. Feeling real low, my tree self-esteem roll. We drowning out landers, can't overflow. Beast Coast be more.
So this is Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Nice little town from what I've seen so far. Like, wow, I like the houses. So apparently, according to my GPS, it's Eau Claire, not Eau Claire. My southern ass pronounces things very literally. The city of Eau Claire was initially settled in 1845, but wasn't incorporated until the 1870s. The city's name comes from the Eau Claire River, which in French loosely translated means clear waters. The city was initially a lumber city, but later on in the 1900s became an industrial city. region of the nation. Just passed the Northwood Scenic Trail about like 20-30 minutes ago. Damn. This place is pretty cool. It's like I haven't been through any towns in like a long time now. We are now getting into Superior, Wisconsin, the city on the other side of the river from Duluth. Here we are. I'm gonna be here for a year. Well, there's no better place to end this video than at the shore of Lake Superior, the deepest and largest of the Great Lakes. I'm going to be here for a year, so expect new Explorer's Journal content to be coming out from the Duluth area soon enough. However, it's time for me to go get settled. Thanks for watching.